We can expect more information today about this whole leaked draft. It's a draft opinion from the Supreme Court that indicates Roe versus Wade will be overturned.
So the draft opinion was published by news site Politico in what could be one of the most unprecedented leaks in modern history. NBC News has not been able to verify the authenticity of the document, and the Supreme Court so far isn't commenting. The court's final opinion is not expected until July, meaning it's possible that the justices could change votes.
We will not go back!
Women in the U.S. could lose their federal right to have abortions by the end of June. Politico has obtained this draft of a U.S. Supreme Court opinion. It suggests the justices are poised to overturn Roe versus Wade this term. Nothing's final yet, but demonstrators on both sides are taking to the streets.
It looks like we're going to finally see justice for the unborn in this country.
Sometimes justices change their votes before opinions are finalized. But if this opinion stands as written, states alone would regulate abortions.
We will see 26 states move to ensure that we no longer have control over our own bodies.
The CEO of Planned Parenthood says she's basing that prediction on current state laws and debates. Other progressives are lamenting the draft opinion, while many conservatives rejoice. A parallel reaction of outrage over how the draft came out.
I predicted it would happen, but I sure as hell didn't predict it would happen this way.
Analysts say it's an unprecedented breach of Supreme Court secrecy and confidentiality. Congress can pass a law reinstating federal abortion rights, but Democrats need more votes to do that, and Republicans don't want to do that. So this will likely be a rallying cry for the midterm elections.
I think that the protest that you're seeing in front of the Supreme Court is just the beginning.
And sources are also telling us that Justice John Roberts does not want to completely overturn Roe v. Wade. They say that it's likely he'll dissent from the majority, as will the court's 3 liberal members.
Now, if Roe versus Wade is overturned, that means a Michigan law from all the way back in 1931 would make abortion in Michigan illegal.
And let's go live to Nick Monticelli. He joins us now this morning. We know Governor Whitmer has already made it clear earlier in the year that she wants that 1930s law overturned.
Yeah, she does. So not only does she want it, the ACLU wants it, and a slew of others. Others will fight against it, though. But there's a few key things here. Michigan is one of 8 states that still has an abortion law on the books. If Roe v. Wade were to be overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court, what happens in Michigan is a little tricky. There is a law in our state, last updated in 1931, that makes it a felony to use an instrument or administer a substance with the intent to induce an abortion, unless necessary to preserve the pregnant person's life. So the law makes most abortions in Michigan illegal, except that Roe versus Wade superseded Michigan law. If that gets overturned, the power reverts back to the states. However, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is already working to change that law and has also filed a lawsuit.
2.2 million women will be impacted by this. Those are women who are of reproductive age. The biggest economic decision a woman will make in her lifetime is whether and when to have a child.
On the other side of the argument are those who are pro-life, like Right to Life of Michigan, happy that abortion could be illegal again.
I think about it as a life of an unborn child. It's a human right to exist, and that right is being stripped from 95 babies today in the state of Michigan. 95 babies will die in abortions today in the state of Michigan, 95 tomorrow and 95 yesterday.
However, some prosecutors across our state are already saying they will not enforce the law making abortion illegal, including State Attorney General Dana Nessel and Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy.
What I will do for my constituents in Wayne County, I will not criminalize a woman's right to choose, and I will not criminalize a woman's reproductive right.
So the U.S. Supreme Court is expected to issue their final ruling sometime over the summer, June, maybe July. The Michigan battle is an ongoing thing, but I'm sure the governor, the ACLU, and others will try to streamline this process to see if they can get that 1931 law repealed before Roe versus Wade gets changed, if that's what the U.S. Supreme Court decides to do. We're live this morning. Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News Today.